It's not surprising that Bernard Dulal-Whiteway, who died 6 years ago, is remembered for his business acumen. After all, he was the CEO of what was then the Neil and Massey Group. But he was a businessman with a difference. His only son, Graham, remembers his father teaching him by example to acknowledge everyone you come into contact with.
Before he died, he was the CEO of one of the largest companies in the Caribbean, but he would talk to anyone. His door would be it was an open door policy.
This personal touch was an important part of Dulal-Whiteway's approach to management, confirms Earl Buddha Singh, now an executive director of Massey Holdings. Buddha Singh, who also joined the group as an accountant, reported to Dulal-Whiteway, and the two had a close professional association for 27 years.
To me, at the lowest level of the organization to the highest level of the organization, he had relationships. And that was one of his strengths. He built very, very strong relationships with people on the basis of trust and on the basis of integrity. And, in his mind, integrity was when your words and your actions were the same. He was always a very charismatic leader, somebody who you listen to just from the sheer ability to set a clear vision for where he wanted to take the company.
Dulal-Whiteway had joined Neil and Massey when he returned from studying accountancy in England, where he went on a scholarship from his former employer, Texaco. In England, he had married Cheryl Sanguinet, a fellow Southerner. Back at home, he rose rapidly through the group, working in various arms. In 1987, he was the general manager of Neil and Massey Industries Limited, which manufactured vehicles in Morva. It was he who took the decision to move the operation, a $50 million investment which had 1,100 employees at its heights, to Santa Rosa, then a rural community. The move proved a success, and a lot of the employees, originally from Morva, stayed there.
That is where part of his, being a visionary, seeing the fact, and because we were moving from the heart of Port of Spain to a remote area in Santa Rosa Heights.
In 2007, he spearheaded what Buddha Singh calls one of the most exciting acquisitions in the Caribbean, that of the Barbados Shipping and Trading Company, the largest conglomerate in Barbados. So Neil and Massey spread throughout the whole Caribbean. Dulal-Whiteway also reached out to young people who were not among the group's staff. He avidly supported the Neil and Massey Foundation, making it sustainable by arranging for it to receive a percentage of group companies' profits. The foundation gives scholarships to employees' children and runs a Boys to Men program 4 times a year in challenged communities. Graham, his only child, recalls his father had a rule: always be home in time for the news and dinner. He was very good at balancing his life in that way. He was strict, but a wonderful father, dedicated, a shoulder to lean on. Eventually, he owned racehorses, but in his younger days, he also played cricket.
Believe it or not, which not too many people know, they think of him as loving horses, but his main love was birds.
After he too went away to study, his son lived abroad for 20 years. But then, by God's grace, he says, he came home 2 years before they learned that his father was terminally ill.
And when I moved back home, we were very, very close. We were inseparable because he was winding down in his career. We were looking at new options, new things to start. I'm an avid horse racing fan with him, so he was passing on as much as he could possibly pass on to me.
Dulal-Whiteway's tragically early death in December 2009 was a blow for the Neil and Massey Group as well as for his family and friends. Neil and Massey Holdings chairman Arthur Lockjack called Dulal-Whiteway an inspirational leader who touched many hearts. Gervais Warner, who acted as CEO during Dulal-Whiteway's illness and then succeeded him, described Dulal-Whiteway remarkably as a sacred gift. Graham Dulal-Whiteway says his father would have been pleased and proud at being inducted into the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce's Business Hall of Fame. Summing up why Bernard Dulal-Whiteway deserves his place in the Business Hall of Fame, Earl Buddha Singh singles out the breadth of his vision. Bernard understood the importance of business in the wider community. He understood profit. He knew companies had to do well, but he understood all facets of it. He was passionate about the Caribbean, the role business could play to integrate the Caribbean community, and the wider contribution it could make in Trinidad and Tobago. It is therefore with great honor that this evening the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce inducts Bernard Dulal-Whiteway into its Business Hall of Fame.